What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome to the video. So I don't know if you can tell, but your boy got a shave, look a bit younger. So today I'll be doing a compression test on the DA9. A little rundown of history on the car itself. So the car's been sitting here for 2-3 years, which is not bad, but obviously the oil's been sitting for a while. The reason why the car's been sitting here is the owner told me head gasket's blown and the clutch is slipping. I actually started the car, didn't kept it on for long. I didn't revved it up or anything. It ran, but I could tell that the coolant was low. There was no coolant in the reservoir and none in the radiator itself, so didn't do anything with it. Just turned it on to see if it actually started. So the route that I'm choosing to see what's the overall health with the engine, it actually has 200,000 miles. It's been used a lot, so I'm not looking for the best numbers, but I'm hoping that there's even wear across the board of each cylinder. But he said something around the third cylinder, I guess, when he was working on it or whatever. So I'm looking for low numbers between 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. Sure, some of you guys already know what the compression test is, but just to see, I would say 30% of the engine and how the health is, if it's the pistons, if you have a valve leak or whatever, and oil consumption. If I had much of an option, because the car is a bit not far from me, but I can't hook a compressor up and do a leak down test. I'd prefer a leak down test, but I can't, the car's not really movable right now, so I'm just going to do the compression test and see what numbers I get. Now, say you're in a situation like this, I'm sure lots of you guys can relate in situations like this. No crank. No start, but it cranks. Obviously that's one of the routes. If you already checked your fuel and all that and you spark, but if it's not starting, that's one of the methods you can check. I know some people will probably say, oh, it's better to try it warm and hot or cold. Warm is more ideal than cold, which makes sense because when it gets warm, the cylinders expand and you get a true reading, which makes sense. But if the car doesn't start, I mean, what are you gonna do? So, I mean, if you see a significant number that is really low, well, that can tell you a lot of things. You can probably do a wet test as well. You put oil in it, and if it spikes up, obviously that's you have low compression. If it doesn't move, obviously it's probably a leaky valve. So that's the method I'm going to use right now. It's really cold today, guys. Really cold. So I'm gonna start and just stop talking. I need to jump the car because the battery's dead. So let's get it, guys.
You're listening to Always Sunny, Always Sunny.
Yes, then we had a bit of a crank. You guys heard that a while ago. Press the clutch in. So I don't know if I said this earlier, but like I said, I checked the coolant. There's no goddamn coolant in there, and the overflow can. Sorry, I have to use this board because the owner said they broke the bracket thing to support the hood. I don't know how they broke it, but so you guys can see that. Maybe dark, but there's no coolant in there, so that coolant's going somewhere. And yeah, I probably could jot the car up and check the oil, but man, it's so really rainy. I don't want to do all that, and I'm sure it's probably mixed in there. So I guess I'll take his word for it. So a few things I'm gonna do before I start doing the compression check. So there's a few things that I need to do before I do the whole compression test. So key important things. I don't want the car to start, so I want to kill fuel and ignition spark if I can do so. So I'm going to disconnect the distributor so it won't get any power signal to the coils, to the plug wires, and I'm going to kill fuel so the fuel pump doesn't prime and spray fuel. You may spray a bit of fuel in there, so that won't be a big of a deal. I can probably make the car run a bit, but since it's low on coolant, it may not be a big deal. It's really cold outside, so just to kill that fuel out. But other than that, there's a few primary things, because I don't want to kill the coil while I'm cranking in there. Kill my coil out. Probably cheap, can get it at a junkyard. But if you like having a coil and plug setup like those modern cars, you know, obviously this is a distributor. You want to be careful if you're doing that. Just read the instruction manual. And hey guys, so this is the distributor plug wires. I'm sure a lot of you guys are already familiar with this. When you're doing your jumper harness from OBD0 to OBD1, I'm just gonna disconnect these, and when I put the camera down, and go inside the car and disconnect the fuel pump. There you go, so I already disconnected the DZ. Now I'm gonna disconnect, I know I said fuse earlier, but my apologies. I'm just gonna disconnect the, right there is a flasher relay. So I'm gonna disconnect the main relay from its plug. We should be good to go. It's always hard for me to take these things out with the camera. These things are so tight in there, so I'm gonna plug this out right now. Alright fam, so now I have the jumper cable hooked back up to the wife's FB2 Civic, and I'm gonna try and crank it and make sure I don't hear a humming noise from an oil pump priming. You guys may not hear it from the camera, so my apologies. Make sure my clutch is engaged. So we're good. Everything is just moving off of the starter right now, so now I'll be able to take out the spark plugs and start from there. Alright guys, starting from number 1. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Man, these don't look bad to me at all. They don't look bad at all. I'm trying to see signs of cooling. I'm not seeing the end of the plugs being wet either. So gotta see with the compression test. But yeah, the plugs don't look bad at all. Who knows, they could have been replaced within the 3 years it's been parked. So, I mean, not really gonna make that justification from there. So now I'm gonna pull out the compression tool and start. Alright guys, number 1. Alright guys, so number 1 gave us a reading of 120. If you guys see that, probably I'm gonna go inside it. I'm gonna go in the car and write that down now. I'm gonna try it wet as well. Just a small teaspoon, not a lot. So stay at the same, a little bit higher, rough sketch around 120. And move on to the rest. Alright fam, so as you can see, my number is dry 120, 90, 120, 120, wet 120, 120, straight across. And number 2, the pressure is probably low. Still gonna pull the head, man, because if he says that, you know, he's getting overheating and he checked it or whatever, and he thinks that number 3, number 2 is going bad or whatever, there's no coolant in the car. So I'm still gonna pull the head and all that. Never hurts to check. Just do everything over again. The radiator is brand new. They changed the radiator, they changed the timing belt and the water pump and all that, but I'm still gonna pull ahead and see what's up. The numbers don't seem seem bad to me. I'm still gonna go home, do some research, do my homework, see what I can find out. If you guys know anything, that'd be great. Comment. I'm not pretending here like I know everything. I'm no smarter than any of you guys out there. Doing your compression test is not hard. Just make sure you kill your fuel and your spark so you don't cause any fire or anything and flood the engine. And that's all. Just crank it 5-6 times and just take the numbers down and see what you get. Ain't smart or anything. Anyone could go on the internet and read shit and come back and sound smart. So just give you guys a quick walk around in the car. So pretty straight body, man. Pretty straight body. I love the car, man. I'm already starting to fall in love. 4 disc brakes. If you guys remember, if you watched that last video, I love the dash. This dash and probably the CRX dash is probably my 2 favorite dashes from the Honda lineup. The sunroof. It's a fully loaded LS, man. 5-speed cable tranny, B18A1 YS1 tranny. If you guys are curious, from the B18A1 and the B1 from the 3rd gen LS, not much different going on, man. It's probably the same thing. I know it had some minor differences, but it's kind of the same thing, to be honest with you. So yeah, car needs to be clean, man. It has a ding right here, can't see it. He said someone kicked in the car when he had it. Coworker was upset with him and kicked the car. So needs a new windshield. It's cracked. I'm starting to love the Gen 2, man, to be honest with you. Yeah. So that's that, guys. So I'm gonna get you guys this video. I'm gonna clean up. Like I said, it ain't too hard, guys. It ain't too hard. Just go do your research and whatever. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching.